We're here today again to force the transparency of an industry that literally survives off of secrecy. We're here today outside of a slaughterhouse. This is an ABP slaughterhouse where they execute cows, dairy cows and beef cows here. Our first disclaimer is that we're here not to cause alarm, harassment, distress or any form of intimidation. We're here today to exercise our right to public assembly, our freedom of speech, and we're here today to defend the animals. Our second disclaimer is that we're not here to clash with non-vegans, to point fingers, name call and to butt heads. We're here today to show you, come alongside you and show you what these industries have done to lie to you, to lie to good people, to make you pay for some of the most horrific violence that you could ever imagine. When you're coming into this live stream, please put 1 in the chat if you're already vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Everyone knows we're coming today. We've scheduled the live stream so they know, they watch our socials, we see them around the back.
2 trucks in here already.
2 trucks in here already. It's gonna be a busy day today in here.
Security here waiting for us. Cameras on us up here.
Oh my God, it stinks. These places stink so much.
Steve,
My blunt human nose.
Steve, truck.
Truck already?
Yeah.
Shit. Oh my God, it's the big one. It's the big one. Come on, record. Oh my God, I fucking hate these things. What the fuck is going on in this world? This is mental. Don't worry. I can see you, I can see you, I can see you. I can see you. I'm here, we're here. I got you. I'm so sorry. I know, baby, I know. I'm so sorry. How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? Disgusting, shameful. I would be so embarrassed being someone who worked at one of these places, profiting off the back of these innocent animals' lives. I saw her, I got her, she was right in the front, she looked at the slats at me, I could see her little nose. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals, you want to see if I can...
Yeah, see if we got what you got on the camera.
Guys, we're also here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Please go into the description. Please click on the 3 dots, go into the Animal Aid investigation link and go and see the investigations that have been done by Animal Aid all throughout the UK.
Steve, show everyone in the shade, you got her.
I got her?
Yeah.
Here she
Guys,
is.
we're just going to show you.
Here she is.
Hold the sign.
Hold on, let me see. Let me just see if I got the... Let me just see if I can get the brightness up. Is the brightness as high as it will go?
So I can see just if you put it to the camera.
Yeah, brightness is... Okay, fine. Oh, poor...
Guys, we're just going to show you who we caught on this truck just now. So you can see for yourself the individuals with your own eyes. This is why we're live streaming, to show you the reality.
There you go, can you see her? Oh my God, look at her. Oh, dear angel.
Mother cow.
Dairy industry. Dairy industry. Oh my God, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to why we're here today filming these animals as they go in to die. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. The animals that you're witnessing on the screen right now, we have literally just recorded on their way into this slaughterhouse.
Literally in that truck, in that red truck. They're in there right now as we speak. They're the individuals. They're the individuals.
Notice how they've rushed that truck in, by the way. There's a truck here in the layerage. There's a truck here being the wash down, and they've rushed that truck here. Now, normally this truck would sit and wait, but they don't because they're trying to rush them in so no one can see them.
They're inside a slaughterhouse.
This is inside of a slaughterhouse right now. How do you live with yourself? How do you live with yourself driving these innocent animals to be executed? How do you sleep at night knowing that you are responsible for taking them in, dropping them off to die? I couldn't live with that guilt. I couldn't live with that emotion. Poor animals. Why are they going in there?
Probably to hide.
They're going in there so no one can see. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to the conversation. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the live stream. It's been a very busy start to this live stream, so we're going to settle into it now and just get into grips with who's in the chat and who's in the live stream and explain to you what we're doing here today. Oh, that just caught my breath, the smell.
Yeah, absolutely stinks here, guys. Thank you to all the activists in this live right now. Please put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. We're not here to hate on you, we're here just to educate and show you the truth. Please ask questions.
Look at this line of wee and poo on the way in. Look at it, all on the floor. Now, the reason being is because animals are sentient beings. They have a central nervous system, so they have the same fight and flight responses that humans do. And they're so scared when they come around here and on these trucks that they literally will just defecate everywhere out of absolute fear-induced terror. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversations as to why 2 vegans are live streaming outside of a slaughterhouse today. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the live stream. Please like, share and subscribe.
Yeah, what are they doing? They never go that side. I can see the
know.
person just got something out of this truck over here. I'm just going to put this over.
Put over, see if you can see what's going on.
Put this over here. So
This is really strange because also that's dipped down towards the back and there are animals on there and that's now dipped down towards the back.
And I can hear them moving, so I think they're unloading here. I can hear them shouting at
Are
them.
they unloading in there as well?
Yeah, I can hear them shouting at them.
Is it shaking? Can you see if the truck's shaking?
Yeah, I can hear them like they're getting unloaded off and the workers are shouting.
Oh my God, what the hell? Why are they doing that there? Maybe there's 2.
Yeah.
Maybe there's 2 accesses to it.
They're crying.
The trucks you're looking at on the stream right now are live at a slaughterhouse in the UK. There are cows on these trucks, dairy industry cows and beef industry cows. I'm going to explain to you in a minute what the difference is. If you put 1 in the chat if you're vegan already, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Can you hear that?
They're bellowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely bellowing, like howling, bellowing. If you can hear that in the live stream, these are bellows and cries of mercy. Can you hear the bangs and the cracks and the slaps and the shouting? This is because these animals do not want to come off these trucks today because they know that where they are is a bad place. They know that this place.
What the hell are they doing?
I have no idea.
There's like so much crashing, banging, shouting, then the cows cry.
Yeah. And not just a cry, it's like a bellow, like a scream of mercy.
Yeah.
1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded while we're here today. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream to get the likes over 100 as fast as possible. I would say before the next truck comes, but trucks are coming any minute now, so please get the likes in as fast as possible. Make sure you subscribed. Oh my God.
They're crying so much.
How does that not
there.
affect people who work in there? I could never work in there. What happens in these places? When you go past these boundaries and go into these places to work, do you just leave your morals in the car? Do you just leave your morals outside work and go in there and just think that exploiting animals is absolutely acceptable and it's all okay? Guys, we're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Please go into the description, the 3 dots in the corner, go and click on Animal Aid investigation, and you can go and see investigations that have been done by Animal Aid all over the UK. Remember today that we are not here to clash with non-vegans, we are simply here to bring you the reality and the truth. This industry is literally surviving off of lies. It doesn't just not tell the public the truth, it actually tells the public lies to keep you humane, washed and indoctrinated into believing that everything is humane, everything is ethical and it's necessary. We're here today to challenge that and to say it's completely not necessary to exploit animals. Therefore, there is no justification and there is no humane way to kill someone who doesn't want to live. There's no humane way to exploit someone who doesn't want to be exploited.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let people know in the chat, we're gonna be answering people's questions today, so please write some questions that we can answer. Steve, what is happening? Where are we? What's going on?
We are live streaming outside of a slaughterhouse. This is a slaughterhouse here in the UK. This is an ABP slaughterhouse. Now, I said a minute ago where they're killing dairy cows and beef cows, and I said that I would explain.
Thanks,
what I
Emma.
mean by that is there are 2 different breeds of cows. Now, the public don't know this. The public just assume cows are cows, and that's it. They think the cows eat grass and produce milk, and we just borrow milk off of them. This is the system that we believe as human beings. Even adults, intellectual adults, would think that this system is what exists. Let me tell you the reality. Dairy cows are selectively bred and genetically modified to be exploited for their milk production, for their mammary secretions. Bear in mind, cows only produce milk because they're mums for their babies. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're a kind person wondering why we're here today, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Beef cows are cows who've been genetically modified and selectively bred to grow more flesh. These cows were exploited for their body parts, for what people deem as steak or Aberdeen Angus steak, etc., etc., etc. They do not cross. The only time that they cross is when they use semen in the dairy industry, for if they get a kickback, then they can grow them big, put them into the beef industry and exploit them and kill them for meat. This is the industries that you support. They are not byproducts. Milk isn't just a waste product, it is a standalone product. Cows in the dairy industry are mothers who are exploited for their sexual organs. Cows in the beef industry are animals who are exploited for their body parts. Two different breeds of cows, two different exploitative industries. Let me swap in with Mel. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Yeah, so another truck just turned
Something's
its engine
happening.
on. Guys, ask yourself, what the hell is there security here? Why is there cameras up here? Why is there fences with spikes everywhere, CCTV everywhere? Why? Because they don't want you to see the animals, because when you see the animals with your own eyes, you go vegan on the spot. It's just that people don't know these industries. Like Steve said about the dairy industry just then, I used to drink cow's milk and eat animals for 26 years of my life. I had no idea that all dairy cows go to a slaughterhouse. Put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're...
That red truck was around the corner.
Whoa, there was like 4 trucks in there. So this one's now moving to switch the other one in.
Yeah.
There's been 4 trucks whilst we stood here in the last 10 minutes of animals being unloaded into this place. Dairy cows from the dairy industry, grieving mothers who've had their babies taken away from them. Put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the like and subscribe. You know that cow we just showed you on this camera? Inside this truck here. They're inside here. They're a mother from the dairy industry who had pregnancy forced upon them. They had their babies taken away from them, kidnapped from them, and then when they can no longer produce milk, they're sentenced to a slaughterhouse to be stabbed in the throat. Every single animal that you consume, eat, whatever, is stabbed in the throat. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe. I'm not here to hate on you guys. I'm not here to say you're bad people. I'm here to purely defend the animals who are going to slaughter and who are being exploited around the world. We are vegan because if you are not vegan, the consequence of your actions is that these places exist. Slaughterhouses exist, animal experiment places exist, horse racing exists, all these evil places that commodify animals exist because you're paying for it with your money if you're not vegan.
Ricky Scapino said, where would we get hamburgers from?
Vegan hamburgers. It's so easy. You just move your hand in the supermarket. It's as easy as that. Burgers are not, they should never be made from somebody else's body. What about if we made you and your family into hamburgers? Why can't I eat your body and your family's body? Because it's morally wrong, just like it's morally wrong to do this to animals. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We have amazing activists in this live right now who will help you as well. Please ask questions. We'll be answering your questions today, and other activists, if we've missed your questions, will help answer those questions as well. Go to the link in the description. We're here in collaboration with Animal Way today. There was an FSA report done here that showed many breaches, many breaches, but we're not here for welfare. It's all wrong. Even if they were adhering to the basic animal welfare laws, which are crap, by the way, it's still wrong to kill someone who doesn't want to die.
Izzy, thank you very much for your comment. Izzy put on my number 2, how long have you been a vegan and what made you become a vegan?
Thank you so much for your comment. Before I answer that question, please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live and subscribe. So I have been vegan for about 5 years now, 26 years. I used to pay for these kind of places, but I didn't know. I called myself an animal lover, but I didn't understand that I was disconnected from the products that I saw in Tesco's or supermarkets or cow's milk to the victim that goes to a slaughterhouse. So what I actually saw was inside a slaughterhouse. I saw a dairy cow, dairy mother, being killed, being stabbed in the throat on the slaughterhouse floor, shivering in fear. She was so scared. And at that point, it was like a blindfold had ripped off my face. I finally saw that cows only produce milk for their babies, and then I realised that I was paying for her to be in that position, and I could not live with myself doing that. Now I owe the animals and I defend them with my life. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live and subscribe. If you don't know what happens inside these places, please watch Dominion on YouTube. That's Dominion on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half long. It will be the best watch you've ever seen.
Samuel's comment here, all you have in life is a short amount of time, and why would you spend it trying to stop something you cannot control if you're not looking to try and be lucrative?
The irony of saying that all you have in your life is a short amount of time, well, don't make others shorter. you're talking about yourself right now, right? But what about your morals and empathy towards somebody else? That all they have in their life is their life, and that's even taken from them. They're slaves, they're commodities, they're not given names, they're given numbers. They're not given freedom, they're given slavery. They're not given nice places to live, they're given concentration camps, in my opinion. And then they're sentenced to a slaughterhouse as babies. All these animals go here as babies, infants, okay? Even the mother cows from the dairy industries, who are the oldest of animals, are still only around 2 to 3 years old. They have baby after baby snatched away from them because the farmer steals her baby to take her breast milk to sell to you. So if you're drinking cow's milk, there's a baby who isn't, who has been sentenced to a slaughterhouse. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Behind these gates of hell, they are killing animals. Right this second, I can hear the cries from those mothers, from these other cows in there as well. They kill dairy cows and beef cows in here. Beef cows are around 18 months old when they get sentenced to a slaughterhouse to be killed. Put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live, please subscribe, like, comment, share, ask questions. We'll be answering questions all through this live today. We're here purely to defend the animals from people who are paying for them to be put in places like this, in slaughterhouses. Please defend the animals. So much shouting and so much crying from these poor animals.
Who are we here with today in collaboration?
We're here in collaboration today with Animal Aid. Animal Aid are a animal rights charity industry who basically do a lot of investigations. So go to their link in the description of this live stream. See the investigations that have happened all around the UK. Every single investigation, horrific. Okay, there's always criminal activity that happens in these places. Of course there is. They're killing people, they're killing individuals all day. Of course there's criminal activity. It's a moral crime to do this. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live, please subscribe. Just seen the drivers getting back into that red truck now.
It's Yubi. I'm a number 2, but slaughterhouses have to stop abusing animals before killing.
Slaughterhouses has to stop abusing?
Slaughterhouses have to stop abusing animals before killing. There's a better way of doing it.
Okay, right. So if you think that slaughterhouses should stop abusing animals before killing, the most abusive thing that you could ever do to anybody is take their life away from them, okay? If you pay for these industries, there's always abuse, mutilation, kidnap, forcible impregnation, and at the end, murder. That's what it is. What about if you weren't abused before you were killed? Would it still be okay to take your life away from you? Absolutely not. These are childlike beings and they need protecting, okay? They are the most innocent beings on this planet. They haven't done anything wrong to anybody and they need you to protect them. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. Would you agree with me? Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe. They're going in here. They're turning in here. All right, so the gate's about to open now, guys. See how this gate is on a manual system. It's meant to be on an automated system. Look at all that, Steve, at the back. See all that wee and poo falling out the back of that truck? Can you see?
Oh,
shameful.
my God.
Shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. How could you? How could you? How do you live with yourself? How do you live with yourself? Do you think about their screams and their cries? Mind your back, Steve, that's close. Do you think about their screams and their cries and their little faces as you go to sleep at night? I do. I do. Something that shatters my heart. How could you live? How could you live like this? How could you come to work every day thinking, oh, I did a really good job today of protecting an industry that is violent towards the most innocent childlike beings? Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live and subscribe. Is there any questions in there yet? I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Behind me, they kill cows from the dairy industry. A lot of people go vegetarian, thinking that vegetarian is okay. Vegetarian's not. In fact, I believe the industry created the word vegetarian to catch people with compassion. If you're someone who has compassion for animals and your instinct is to go vegetarian, it's like a net that they catch you in because it stops you from going vegan, because when you go vegan, you destroy these industries and you stop paying for this violence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations while we're here. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. please make sure you double tap the stream. I've seen a lot of vegans coming in the chat now. Number ones are here. Number ones are here to defend the animals with us. Thank you, number ones, for being in here. Number twos, really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you standing here and listening to what we're having to say and interacting with us. Please put your comments and your questions in the chat and we'll get round to answering them the best we can. The chat moves fast. If we don't answer them, please continue to put your comments and questions in there. Number threes, thank you for helping us push the algorithm. Even though it's against your agenda, it's going to help us to defend the animals. Anyone who's just joining this live stream, we are live outside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. The gate behind me is the gates to the slaughterhouse. Truck after truck after truck have already gone through here today. I believe 5 trucks have got in with animals, primarily from the dairy industry, is who we've seen today, but the dairy industry and the beef industry cows come here to be executed. Now, the reason why they come here is because of the supply and demand chain. The number twos in the world, the kind, compassionate number twos who are not vegan, have been indoctrinated to believe that this is necessary, ethical, and humane. But let me tell you, them 3 things do not happen. It's certainly not necessary. We don't need to do this to animals. So if you don't need to, there's no justification to do it. 1 in the chat if you're vegan already. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to why we're here. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Let's get 100 likes before the next truck of animals turn up. Now, any number twos in the chat who are just coming in, if you're not vegan, but you're a kind person, I want you to know that our objective today isn't to clash with you. It isn't to make enemies of you. It's not to point fingers at you and say you're a bad person for not being vegan. We're here today to turn your head against the industry who have indoctrinated you and conditioned you into believing that paying for this is okay, into paying for this is ethical and it's all right, because it's not. Any number twos who are angry at vegans or angry at the message, your anger is directed straight at the industry when you actually do see and hear the truth for yourself. We are also here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Please click on the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of this live stream. Click on the top link and go to Animal Aid's investigations. All of them investigations have been conducted here in the UK, and you'll be able to see exactly what happens inside of this slaughterhouse. Not this slaughterhouse, but inside of slaughterhouses in the UK. But you'll also be able to hear Animal Aid's report on what happened at this very slaughterhouse. Go and check it out, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. So Izzy's rich. She said, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm a number 2 and I'm wondering what you think about abortion or teen pregnancy, considering how bad you think it is killing baby animals.
Okay, well, Izzy, I appreciate your comment, but we're strictly an animal rights channel and we won't diversify off the topic of animal rights. Our position on abortion or any human issues doesn't change the fact that the animals not having rights defending them is bad. So our position on that has actually have no reflection on animal rights. We keep it strictly on the animals. It's so easy to forget the animals and try and put the humans first every time. And this is what we've seen throughout history. Yeah. Human rights always comes before the animals. We'll get to the animals later, not us. We are animals first and foremost and strictly always. But I would consider, if you are against that, then align your ethics and your actions. Maybe it's something, if you're saying that we should be consistent, maybe you should be consistent. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. The animals are always pushed to the bottom of the pile, and this is why we're here today, to make sure that they are seen and they are heard. Because when good people see and hear the truth, good people go vegan. It's as simple as that.
407 bus fans put, I'm a number 2, but I hate it when people shove it in my face though.
Well, the reason why people shove it in your face is because they're desperately fighting for the victim. And if you're a number 2, if you are a kind, compassionate person, someone saying to you, please consider morally chickens, cows, pigs, fish, lambs, and all the other animals, shouldn't really trigger you. You shouldn't really get angry or cross about that. If you truly have empathy for animals, anyone jumping up and down trying to stop this injustice is trying to do it for the victim's sake. You've got to remember, this isn't just a difference of opinion that I think a blue t-shirt looks better than a green t-shirt. Someone's dying because of a result of these choices. Yeah. So when activists and when vegans are trying to defend animals, they do it with the intensity and the urgency that is actually necessary. Imagine if it was you in there. Imagine if it was one of your loved ones in there. Imagine if it was one of your family members in there. Would you then still think that activists trying to stop your loved one from being executed for an optional product was pushing it in your face? Or do you think that they'd be justified in trying to get this message out as urgent as they possibly can? With that said, being a number 2, I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for listening to what we have to say. Please stay here and see the animals. For context, by the way, right now, I've just had a wave of smell come from the kill floor. It smells absolutely disgusting. It's like metallic, iron. It's that real horrible death smell.
Yeah, and you've got to remember as well, with you not being vegan, the animals are literally having a knife shoved in their throat.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
Or a gas chamber.
Kian put, I went vegan. I love animals.
Amazing. What, just gone vegan just now?
Not sure.
Amazing. Thank
yeah.
you for being vegan. This is what happens when people hear the truth and they're actually open-minded to it.
Yeah.
This is all we're saying, guys. We're not here trying to, I can't make you be a good person, right? I can't force you to be a good person. I can't drag you around the supermarket and make you only buy the vegan options. I can't do that to everybody. You can't force people to be good. But all we can do is put the education out there and say, look, now you're educated. Because up until today, potentially you're not even educated on it. You maybe didn't even know that cows only produce milk because they're mums.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't even know that the dairy industry and the beef industry are two different industries. Maybe you don't know that the egg industry and the chickens that you eat are two different industries. Did you know that 6-month-old piglets go to gas chambers, CO2 gas chambers, to be executed? Did you know these things? Perhaps you didn't, and this is why we're here today.
Yeah, on that point, Chester put, do you eat eggs?
No, absolutely not. We never view animals as commodities. We don't use animals, we don't exploit animals. Eggs are a standalone industry. Egg-laying hens are forced pregnant. Okay, a lot die in that process, by the way, in parenting sheds. When you take the fertilized eggs away, when they hatch, they sex the eggs, male and female. If the eggs are hatched male in the egg industry, they are deemed a waste product because males do not produce eggs in the egg industry. The chickens who are in the egg industry haven't been genetically modified to grow large enough to be considered for the meat industry. So them little yellow cute chicks that everyone pores over, when they're male, they get thrown into an open blender, goes along, the little rubber mat goes along and drops in these day-old male chicks into a blender. This is the egg industry, and I'm talking about free-range, organic, local, small holding, best of the best, whatever welfare stamp you want to put on it. This is the industry I'm talking about. This is where all chicks are hatched from. That's known as a hatchery. Then, when the chickens can no longer produce enough eggs, which is typically around 18 months old, an egg-laying hen will be taken to a gas chamber and executed with CO2 gas.
Yeah.
1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded and you're a kind person, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please make sure you double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe.
And thank you so much, Steve, for your super thanks.
Thank you,
But I
Steve.
don't know where you guys get the energy.
The animals.
Yeah.
The animals, Steve, is where we get the energy and knowing what they go through. We did a talk a couple of years back at NARD where we spoke about time. And humans, we have this constraint of time and we are able to dictate what we do with our time. Do we go there? Do we not? Do we do this? Do we don't? We have the luxury of time. Animals do not have the luxury of time. And I believe, and Mel believes the same, we have a moral obligation to fight for the animals in the same way as if it was us behind them gates, if it was our loved ones behind them gates. They need us to do this. They need us. If we don't do this, nothing changes. If good people stand by, then evil will prevail. And we must never stand by. So no matter what happens, whether it's sunny, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's ice, whether there's floods, whether there's whatever it may be, we will be here. We will be there defending the animals. We will be there shining a light on the industry to bring the truth to the consumers. Number 2s who aren't vegan but are kind people, remember, our objective today is to simply give you the truth. Because when you have the truth, you then are armed with the education to make an educated decision. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Got crazy hippie put, I'm not vegan, just hopping in. Oh, I've missed it.
Chat moving fast.
Yeah,
Pop
please.
it back in there, pop it back in there.
Please write your comment again. I think it was something like, people have basically lost the connection between what they're eating and who they're eating.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Actually, Plant Geezer done a really good short the other day. It's like, at what point do we get triggered? And it started from the animal's flesh all the way back. And actually, you'll be so surprised to know that it's not too far back in the chain where the building behind me comes into play. Now, the building behind me is a slaughterhouse. I'm stood here live in the UK outside of an ABP slaughterhouse. Behind me, they are executing mother cows from the dairy industry. Mother cows from the dairy industry will have baby after baby after baby taken from them because cows only produce milk because they're mums. Not just because they eat grass and produce milk, they're mums. Now, and the building behind me, they'll also have places where they package their body parts.
Yeah.
So execution, dismemberment, package, supermarket. You're only 3 steps away from the knife. The blood is on your hands if you're not vegan. If you're creating the demand, then you are part of the issue. The whole industry is a supply and demand industry, and this is why we have such ability to affect it. When we can get to the consumer, people often say you should lobby governments, you should go for the big top people in the industry. We can affect this industry most optimally by removing the money chain. It's like cutting the blood supply off to the industry. By you going vegan, changing the demand, that's what saves animals. Let's swap in with Mel.
Yeah, it's literally life and death. Like you said, it's not just an opinion or blue shirt, red shirt. This is literally life and death, okay? Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go and look in the link in the description. Go and see the investigations they have done all across the UK. Brave investigators have gone inside these places to expose what's hidden from you. It shouldn't be hidden from you, and it shouldn't be happening because you guys are falling for words like humane, organic, free range, thinking that this is okay. It's not.
These comments make me feel a bit sad.
Yeah.
Tutorial by the day. Thank you for your comment. I support you, so I'm a number 2, but because I'm still a minor, so I eat meat. Obviously, a child who's been told to eat meat. I feel for children in that position.
I feel like that's such an injustice. I am so upset that I was forced to eat animals, and because my parents didn't know any better either. As a minor, you live healthy on a plant-based diet. Go to your parents, go and watch Dominion with your parents and say, I don't want to continue to pay for this. Stand up for the animals. Even though you're a minor, you don't realise the power that you can have by saying to your parents, look, I love animals, I don't want to pay for this because if I pay for this, then animals are killed and I don't like it. Your parents may likely say something like, it's okay, it's done nicely or humane, but it is not. Your parents just don't know the industry as well.
Average NZ Poster, thank you so much for your comment. Average is a number 2. What if the animal is sick or in pain? Do you think that helping them out of that pain and putting them into a better place? I'm open-minded, please convince me.
Okay, thank you for your question. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe. Okay, so I don't know if maybe you're talking about if you're talking about a companion animal who is at the end of their life and there is nothing more you can do, physically nothing more you can do. Okay, I will answer this question, just 1 second. Shame on you. Shame on you. How could you? This is an empty truck. Well, it was full of victims earlier. Look into the lairage. You see the cows in the lairage there. An empty truck full of victims who have now been unloaded off onto this kill floor to be stabbed in the throat today. They'll be killed by the time you go to sleep. Their blood will be outside of their body on the floor of this place, and they'll be cutting up their body today. How disgusting is that? Okay, these animals that you see are all babies in these industries, all babies. They are not going to slaughter because they're ill at the end of their life. They're going to slaughter because it's all for profit. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live, like, share, and subscribe. Also, when someone is at the end of their life, you wouldn't take them to a slaughterhouse. Like my dogs and my chickens that I love at home, I would never bring them to a slaughterhouse. What I would do, if there's absolutely nothing more I can do for them, I'd take them to a vet where they would be put to sleep, like where they fall asleep by euthanasia injection. These animals get stabbed in the throat, okay? Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and subscribe. A lot of people try and find a right way to do a wrong thing, but there's no right way to do this wrong act towards someone else. There's no right way to do this to you. If you want to live, we should not be making you pregnant, taking away your babies and taking your breast milk, and then killing your babies if they're male, and then killing your daughter and yourself when you can no longer produce milk. That's what happens in the dairy industry. This is a slaughterhouse and dairy cows are inside there right now being stabbed in the throat. I listened to their cries today. I've listened to their cries for the past year or so. We've been outside slaughterhouses every single week for the past year. Please, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live, guys. Please like this live. By liking this live, it helps get the algorithm out to more people, so when the animals come, people who need to see will see the animals for themselves. We are not here to hate on you. Please subscribe to our channel as well. We do this all the time, and also on our other channel, It's Mel and Steve, we go and investigate farms. We go inside these places, we speak to farmers. Check out our last video on the dairy industry. We walked into a farm with dairy cows. We saw from the road that there was 47 hutches full of little baby cows. They still had their umbilical cords on their tummies. They were struggling to stand up because they'd just been born and they'd been snatched away from their mother already.
Vibe111 says, so we have to be open-minded about being vegan, but you can't be open-minded about being non-vegan people.
In fact, for 26 years, I was non-vegan. For 26 years, I'm an ex-non-vegan because I didn't know the industry. In fact, I was born vegan in my heart. Every single child is born vegan. It's just that you get conditioned by the world to teach you to eat animals. You need milk for calcium, you need meat for protein. It's a load of rubbish and you don't need it to survive. We thrive on a plant-based diet. We should be vegan by default. Our morals are that we are all vegan. We're all against animal oppression when we're younger, and then the industry commodifies us. The industry lies to us. Right now inside you can see a slaughterhouse. This is a slaughterhouse truck. We saw this, sorry, it stinks. On that red truck, there was mother cows on that truck today that Steve captured on the camera as they went past. Beautiful individuals who had their babies taken away from them, who are forced pregnant. They carry their babies for 9 months. If their baby is a male, they get taken away and killed instantly. If their baby is a female, they get taken into isolation booths away from their mum, where they are then forced to drink supplement milk so that the farmer steals the milk intended for the baby and sells it to you. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe.
Crush Purse said, do you know that only 1% of people are vegan right now?
Yeah, and there was 1% of people who are against, who are pro-women rights as well. There's 1% of people who were against slavery. The 1% of people is what changed the world. It always takes a small group of people to create systemic change, to create change. This is a moral crime right now. Morals and legality. Legality is slower than morals. Morals come first, then you fight for the animals with everything you have. You fight for that injustice, and then it becomes a crime, a legal crime, to do this to animals like it is with slaves now.
Carl Buck says, we're omnivores, and I'm sure that there are proteins that you get from meat that I'm not sure you can get from a vegan diet.
Thank you for your comment. So where you say I'm not sure, thank you for being honest, because most people don't know this, and it's not your fault that you don't know, but all protein comes from plants. Plants is the only place that actually makes protein. You can get all your amino acids from plants. As long as you eat your calories in a day, you will reach your protein goals. But if you're eating animals, animals don't make protein, they consume plants which give them protein. You then kill the animals to get the protein that they consume from the plants. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and subscribe. Please like, share, comment, and yeah, subscribe. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go to the link in the description, see the investigations that they have done all around the UK. By the way, I just want to tell you as well, I'm not judging you that you don't know where protein comes from, and I'm not judging you that you don't know where calcium comes from in a plant form or anything like that, because we were the same. I was brought up in this world the same as you. I used to eat animals, I used to go to zoos, I used to drink the breast milk of a cow. I didn't understand, I never thought about it. I didn't understand that there was a victim because of my choices. I was so disconnected from a slaughterhouse to a product that I saw in the supermarket, I never thought about it. But when I saw inside a slaughterhouse, my world changed, everything changed, and I could never pay for that ever again, because then I knew better. Once you know better, you do better. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and please put number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe.
Knowledge MOR3, I apologise for making your comment very British in the way I'm going to pronounce it. They put, I love you, but nowhere in the Bible did it say that it's a sin to be omnivore. In fact, I'm pretty sure that God gave us cattle. I love you. Okay, that sounds a bit strange. So thank you for your comment, first of all. First of all, you don't need a Bible to tell you what you should do and should not do. If the Bible said it's not a sin to kill humans, would you kill humans? So God did not give humans animals to eat. The devil, when the fall came and sin came into the world, is when they said to eat certain animals. That's the devil, okay? God's perfect creation is vegan, the Garden of Eden. God's perfect creation in heaven is vegan, okay? There's no killing in heaven. The first commandment, thou shalt not kill. Second, thou shalt not steal. If you're not vegan, you are killing and you are stealing, okay? But you may not realize, why would a compassionate and kind God give you a food source that screams for their life, that begs for mercy, that bleeds the same colour blood as you do, okay?
when we can just eat plants. All our nutrients come from plants. Don't you think a kind person, a kind individual would give you a food source that didn't scream for their life? Please think with your own mind. He also gave you a heart. Watch Dominion on YouTube and see the reality, because when you see that, that is not the work of God, that's the work of the devil.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. Let me go through our disclaimers at the start of the live stream again, just for anyone coming into the live stream, so you got an understanding of where we are. We're not here today to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today to exercise our right to freedom of speech and public assembly. We're also here today not to clash with non-vegans, to point fingers and to say that we're better than you for being vegan. We're here to come alongside you and turn your head against the industry that have lied to you. Not just not told you the truth, these industries have lied to you. The animal agricultural industries, animal farmers, animal slaughterhouses, they are businesses. Simply that. They're nothing more, nothing less. They are businesses there to produce profit for the business owners. People think that animal farmers and slaughterhouses are some kind of bedrock, some backbone of civilization. Without them, we would have civilization collapse. Load of nonsense. This is a business. And what do you do if you have a business? You market it to the consumer in the best way possible. And what's the best thing to do? Make your consumers feel like you are something that they can never do without. And this is exactly what this industry has done. It's told you that you're a baby cow. Yeah. Everyone believes that they're baby cows. Why are we breastfeeding from cows? We're not cows. Cows are mums. Their breast milk is intended for their babies, their calves, not humans. Why don't you drink tiger milk? Why don't you drink dog milk, rat milk, cat milk? Because you're not a dog, cat, a rat, or a tiger. You're a human, but why do you drink cow's milk? Because the industry has told you that for your health and calcium, you need to do it. It's good for you. We've always done it. And as a result, you actually believe that you're a baby cow and that it's okay to not only just drink their breast milk, let's put it in crisps. Let's make chocolate bars out of it. Let's stick it together and coagulate it and make it into a block of cheese.
Why do they do that, by the way?
The reason why they put cow's milk into all these products is because guess what? You're a mammal the same as cows are. And when cows breastfeed to their babies, they have morphine, which is a hormone which bonds the calf to their mother to make the calf keep coming back to their mum to drink her mum's breast milk to get nice and big. It's an addictive substance for the calf. And guess what? When they put it in crisps, it makes you addicted to it. Once you start, you can't stop. And you're addicted to the morphine, which keeps you going back for dairy products, which keeps you indoctrinated into believing that you need it for your health, that it's ethical, that it's humane, that it's justified. You're not a baby cow. The dairy industry is unethical. It's not humane. It's an absolute violent abomination. Anyone involved in the dairy industry, in my opinion, should be in prison for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And people need to wake up to it.
If people think that what you just said is extreme, where can they watch what you just said about?
You can go and watch 2 resources I'm going to give you. You can go and watch Dominion on YouTube, and you can also click in the description of this live stream, go to Animal AIDS Investigations, who we're here in collaboration with today, and go and look at investigations that Animal Aid have done all throughout the UK. And then go and watch Dominion and look at all of the other industries that exploit animals and actually see the truth. Again, this is a business. The business is marketed to the consumer, to the public, to sell their products to you. You believe that it's necessary. I need it, I need it, I need it. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you because they've got you right where they want you. You believe that you have to buy these products for your health and for your fitness, and then you like the taste, and then it becomes cultural, and then you get the social pressure, and then all of that is tied up into making good people believe that what they're paying for is humane, because what they then do is they take the RSPCA assured logo, they take red tractor certification, they take all these nonsense stamps of approval and put it on animal products to make the consumer never critically think about it. When you see the RSPCA assured logo, if you don't know who the RSPCA is, they're the Royal Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. If I see that logo on a pig's body in bacon, I believe that the RSPCA have made sure that everything was okay. It was all ethical, right? How can it be? Piglets are sent to gas chambers at 6 months old. Why the hell is there an RSPCA assured logo on that piece of animal's body?
Yeah.
The reason being is to keep the consumer, you, number twos, indoctrinated and conditioned into believing the lies.
I can still hear them shouting.
They're screaming, they're bringing them onto the kill floor. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, subscribe. Please hit the bell notification. We go live at multiple locations all over the UK every single week, multiple times a week. to bring you the truth. Remember, this industry markets itself to the consumer by spending millions and millions and millions of pounds, millions of dollars. What do? We come here with a camera and we live stream to show you the truth. Every single slaughterhouse that we go to show you the truth, when we get there, the cameras are facing us, the security are waiting for us, the gates are on manual, they're not on electric anymore, the spike fences are keeping you out, the CCTV on every single pole, the netting so you can't view in. Now, this is an industry that prides itself on transparency, ethical, humane slaughter. This industry prides itself on British standards. We have the best welfare laws in place to consider the animals. But you know what, when we come here, why is everything shut up? Why is everything so secret? The reason being is all that nonsense is a lie, so the consumer never thinks about it. They just think, yeah, cool, the industry's got it all under control. And actually, I need to, because I need calcium and protein. How many of you in there? How many of you in there are saying protein, protein, protein? You believe that animals is where you get your protein. No one has actually Googled where's the best source of protein and found out that every single protein source comes from plants, amino acids during photosynthesis. No one's thought that tofu has got a complete spectrum of amino acid chains in it. It's literally the best source of protein. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. Mel's seeing something, she's getting set up for something else.
Yeah, I can see stuff happening over here.
What can you see?
Over here is where they will take the skins and stuff, and I just saw a load of workers and stuff moving around here. So I'm just putting this camera up. I can hear shouting, I can hear a woman in there.
A lot of trucks in here today. A lot of trucks in here today.
I'll show people this area. So this area, what happens in that area actually, Steve?
Over in that side there, whenever we've seen any aerial shots, that area there is where all the cows' skins get ripped from their bodies and they get folded up in between what looks like potentially salt layers. Because the leather industry as well, by the way, is not a byproduct of the meat or dairy industry. The leather industry is a standalone industry. So this brings us to a good point, actually. Veganism is not just about the animals that you eat. Veganism is an ethical position against any exploitation of animals. So not wearing them, not betting on them, not testing on them, not using them for any forms of entertainment. It's against animal exploitation. Now, let's just look at that sentence for a minute. Being vegan is someone who is against exploiting animals. That sounds like a nice thing, doesn't it? I'm against exploiting vulnerable animals. If that sounds like you, when I say that out loud, if that sounds like it resonates with you in your heart and you're a number 2, today's the day that you simply go, you know what, I'm gonna draw a line in the sand. I'm going to go vegan from here on out because I actually don't want to be responsible for hurting animals. I don't want to be the reason that a baby's taken away from their mum. I don't want to be the reason that families are separated. I don't want to be the reason that sows are in farrowing crates for 6 weeks whilst their babies die all around them. They can only stand up, sit down, move forward, move back. They can't even turn around. If you don't know what I'm referring to, please go into our main channel, just It's Mel and Steve, and go and have a look at the investigations that we've done in a pig farm. You're going to see what a farrowing crate is. I've been there, Mel's been there, we've seen it with our own eyes. It's one of the most harrowing things I've ever seen. Looking into the animal's eyes, knowing that she will be in the same position for 6 weeks, unable to get out of that farrowing crate whilst her babies die all around her. Absolute injustice, absolute horrific industry. Now, there's an absolute weak melt then who wound his window down, took a deep breath in to shout something at us, and I looked at him and he literally retracted like a coiled spring, because this is what number 3s are. Anti-vegans, they're just the bullies at school, and when you stand up to the bullies at school, they retract quite quick because anti-vegans are actually quite pathetic and quite weak. They project that when they say vegans are weak. Oh, vegans are so weak, they get upset about chickens. Actually, the strong protect the weak, and it takes a strong character to stand up against an injustice, even if you're in the minority. So any number 2 that isn't vegan, but you're listening to what we're saying and you're actually encouraged to go vegan, I urge you to do it. Be brave, show your character, take a deep breath and say, this is it, no more. Let us know in the chat, by the way, if you've done that. Let us know in there. Put green hearts in the chat if you've gone vegan today. Let us see. 1 in the chat if you've already vegan. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversation. Green hearts in the chat if you've gone vegan today. And 3s in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream. Make sure you subscribe, with the bell notification. We go to different slaughterhouses. We don't just always come to cows. We go to chickens, we go to pigs, we go to sheep. We go all over the UK to bring you the truth. When you know better, you can do better. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go to the description, click on the link at the top, and you can go and see various slaughterhouses all over the UK, different species, and you can go and see what happens to these animals. In fact, Animal Aid's website is a really good website. They've got lots of good campaigns you can get involved in. End greyhound racing, all sorts of campaigns. Go to their website. If you don't click on the link in this description, then simply go to animalaid.org.uk and have a look at how you can get involved. There's letters to MPs you can just copy and paste. There's all sorts you can do to get involved for defending animals. And let me ask you, if you were in a house and in the front room there was a dog being kicked around the front room and you were in the sitting room, would you stay sitting in the sitting room and be quiet and accept that that dog's being kicked around? Or would you get up, go into the lounge and stop the person kicking the dog? This is simply what animal rights activists are doing. We know that animals are in there being executed. We know that animals are in there being killed for optional products. We're simply not just standing by and letting it happen. We're coming out and we're trying to stop it. And we do so with the intensity and the fury that is deserved. Because for the animals behind me, the animals that I can hear bellowing and crying out for mercy on the kill floor right now, it's very real for them. Their lives are being taken today. And it's not justified. Let me swap in with Mel.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of me emojis in the chat right now. So when people get faced with the truth, when you talk about not killing animals, not hurting animals, people get like horrible to the messenger. But all we're doing is trying to defend the animals. They're being killed behind me right now. This is a slaughterhouse and cows from the dairy industry are literally having their lives taken, and from the beef industry. And people never even think about it. I never thought about it until I saw for myself. I accidentally come across an amazing activist called Joey Carbstrong. I saw inside a slaughterhouse. I saw a mother cow from the dairy industry being killed. I had no idea that all the cows from dairy industries get killed. They get stabbed in the throat inside this place, literally behind us, all because someone's drinking their breast milk intended for their baby. Cow's milk is only for baby cows, not for humans, but they have marketed to you because they want to buy they want your money. That's all they want. This isn't like oh, there's such an amazing industry. This is evil. This is violent. This is murder. Okay, on a mass scale. This is the biggest injustice of our world that's ever happened, and it's still happening today, and you're paying for it if you're not vegan, but that might not be your fault. You might just not know yet.
All Edits is saying, do you know something called halal?
Yeah. Yeah, do you know that it makes no difference? It's all the same. Go to the link in the description. Go and see Animal Aid's investigation, who have done investigations on halal, all standard, it's all the same. You won't be able to tell the difference. They all get stabbed in the throat, they all get hung upside down and killed. But even if there was a difference, it makes no difference because the animals are still having their lives taken from them. Okay, so you can talk about small local free-range welfare. They're ultimately all killed in a slaughterhouse and they're all stabbed in the throat.
NXT TV has said, it's life, guys. Move on. Go, move on. Go be great. Focus on yourself. You haven't got to eat it or pay for it, but just move on. Basically, stop trying to do this.
What a superiority complex you have. What about if that was you as the victim? Things are different then. What about if that was your mother or your child or your family or sibling and someone was trying to stab them in the throat and we all just stood back and went, move on. Guys, it's life, like it's just what happened, like move on. If you don't want to stab them, don't stab them, you just carry on. But I'm here trying to stop someone stabbing them, okay? I'm here because I've seen injustice that I used to partake in, by the way, so I used to pay for this. I've seen it, and now I tell good people who just don't know any better. Now, if you are the small minority of people who think that it's okay and you just say move on because of your selfish desires and you can't have empathy for someone else, then I think that's really sad and I think you're letting yourself down. And the animals are your victims because of that mentality. It's not right, it's a very weak mentality. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the like, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Charlie TN 1J. Number 2, I'm not vegan, but I am still with this.
You're not vegan, but maybe you agree with what we're saying? Yeah, and it's a lot of people agree with what we're saying, but until you actually see what happens on the inside, you can't imagine what happens on the inside. Did you know that male chicks in the egg industry are all blended up alive? Did you know that all the cows from the dairy industry are all killed at slaughterhouses? Also on farms as well, they kill these animals. Words don't do what the animals face justice. This industry is so evil, it's so terrifying, it's so demonic. My words cannot explain to you how horrific this is. please go watch Dominion. Just see for yourself. If you are on the animal side, just please go and watch what happens to them with your own eyes, so then you can remove yourself from partaking in it.
Success keeps putting in a really stupid statement, which is completely wrong.
Yep.
The best source of protein depends on your dietary preferences and budget, but top options include complete animal proteins like chicken, breast, tuna and eggs, and nutrient-dense plant proteins, tofu.
Okay, so this is someone who has believed the brainwashing and believed propaganda blindly without actually looking into the facts. All protein comes from plants. It's actually made by plants. The animals eat the plants. They kill the animals and then get the second-hand protein from the animals, where you could have just removed the animals, not hurt them, and just go straight to the source itself. Tofu has all the essential amino acids, everything you need in a plant-based diet. There is zero excuse to do this to animals. Even if they didn't, what about if the best protein came from you? What about now you're the one who has the best protein in your body and I can only get a certain protein from you? Is it then justified for me to stab you in the throat and all your family and kill them in a slaughterhouse and then make money off your body parts? No, it's not. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe.
Rob has just gone vegan.
Rob, thank you so much for being somebody who is not weak, who is actually of strength and of kindness and empathy to go vegan for the animals who need you so much. This is the most urgent issue of our time, and it's down to you to hold yourself accountable for this evil atrocity happened to the animals on behalf of you, and thank you for doing that today for them. Let me know in the chat if you have been a number 2 who is now vegan. Look, you see that up there? Tipping body parts out or something? Evil. If you could smell a slaughterhouse, you would never buy the body parts. If you could look into the eyes of your victim as they're being stabbed in the throat, you would never buy their secretions, their eggs, their milk, their skin. If you saw that knife going into their throat. In fact, how many people in this chat could stab an animal in the throat and think, yeah, I want a cup of tea, when you could have just had 20 different plant milks in your tea instead, which tastes the same?
Papa Nerf, this is a really interesting comment. Papa Nerf said, I eat meat, but I can certainly see a time in the future where our great-grandchildren will be disgusted that we used to eat animals.
Yeah, they will. You know, like how there was another thing that happened in history with gas chambers, and we look back on that and go, how could we? Still doing that to animals today. And people are trying to justify it. Sorry?
Loads of number 2s.
Awesome, yeah, people are still trying to justify that. You're so right, in generations to come. I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio that said, in generations to come, they'll look back at us and go, what the hell did we do to animals? Yeah. People need to hold yourself accountable today. If you can tell that this is wrong, hold yourself accountable today. I'll ask you in this live chat, how many more animals will you personally send to a slaughterhouse until you commit and go vegan? How many more? Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live, please like, comment and subscribe.
William Marriott, thanks for your comment. What are your thoughts on the meat egg farmers from the local farmer market to let them go free range or wild hunters?
Disgusting, absolute evil, weak individuals who should be in prison, okay? There is no difference between big, small, local, whatever, it's all the same. In fact, what you expect to be a factory farm or a local farm, they look the same. Did you know that? We've investigated these places. Award-winning farms, local, free range. It's the most horrific thing I've ever seen on this earth. So there's these trucks that will all move it, all of them. Okay, they're coming out now, guys. These trucks are coming out. So these trucks had animals on this morning who have now been unloaded off into this place. Shame on you. How could you? Why would you do this? How could you? Shame on you. Absolute scumbag people who would do this to these dear animals. These are like childlike beings, and they've dropped them off to here to in a place where they're going to be stabbed in the throat. They're stabbing them in the throat right now as we speak. They are stabbing childlike individuals in the throat, hanging them upside down, letting their blood bleed from their neck, and they're dying in there, suffocating in their own blood. Put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please like, comment and subscribe. Did you know this? 20% of cows go to slaughter pregnant because they weigh them on their weight. They don't care about the animals. In fact, when the mother cow is hanging upside down, they put a knife in her throat, they take the sack out with the baby in, they cut the sack open, they let the baby suffocate on the floor of a slaughterhouse. That's what you're paying for, literally, to drink a cup of tea or have a bit of cheese when you can just get the vegan option. Nothing changes for you when you go vegan. It's liberating, you go back to your childlike self, but everything changes for the animals.
CDWG's missed your point. They put, I think constructing gas chambers is different to doing a natural process humans have done for thousands of years. Animals don't construct gas chambers, kind of a scuffed comparison. I don't think that they understand that you're explaining that animals are killed in gas chambers.
Yeah, animals are killed in gas chambers. The majority of the way animals are killed are in gas chambers. And in fact, the way that they made the gas chambers for when Hitler was around was off the pig gas chambers. Did you know it was called, what was it? The same company name. What's it called? Do you remember the name?
Oh, one of them was called, I can't remember.
It's similar names, but the gas chambers were based off the pig gas chambers when they did that to humans. The pigs have faced this. The animals have faced this since the moment humans were on this planet. We have commodified them, used them for our own greed when we never needed to in the first place. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe.
Here again, it just shows the lack of education. Corey Robertson said, no, you're blatantly lying. It's a bolt gun to the back of the head.
No,
First
okay.
of all,
First of all, it's not the back of the head, it's here on their forehead, okay? Second of all, the majority of ways they kill animals is in gas chambers. Then it's electric prongs, then it's water baths and bolt gun in the head, or they just slit their throats. In fact, the bolt gun never even works. The bolt gun is only for the workers, not the animals. The animals still fought everything. But when you come with a knife at a cow who's extremely strong, they will fight for their life. So to make it safer for the workers, they bolt gun them in the head, so they fall to the floor, incapacitate them, then they can slit their throat so the workers are safe, but the animals still fought everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't believe that we're telling you the truth, then go to Amazon Prime and watch Pignorant.
Yeah.
Go and watch Pignorant, or go to pignorantfilm.com and watch Pignorant from there, and you'll see gas chambers in the UK for yourself. Gas chambers are used worldwide, but our friend Joey Armstrong went in and he put cameras inside the gas chamber. Go and see what happens to the animals. Go and hear them screaming, ripping off their limbs, trying to escape the CO2 gas.
It baffles me how people would think we'd come out and lie. We have no monetary gain from lying. They have monetary gain.
The only part of this whole thing where lies are ever construed is from the industry. When they tell you happy farmers, happy animals, willingly giving up their milk, willingly giving up their eggs, dancing into slaughterhouses, laying down and falling asleep, and then having their bodies chopped up and sent to supermarkets. It's all a massive lie from the industry. This is our point. The industries don't just keep the truth from you, they replace the truth with lies. They tell you that you have to do it, that it's humane, that it's ethical. Now, I've seen a lot of comments flashing up. You kill more animals for your vegan food. You kill more animals when you harvest crops. Vegans only care about the fluffy animals. Vegans don't care about the small animals. Let me do this once and once only so everyone listen as much as you can. When you're talking of crop deaths or crop farmers or arable farmers, I want to make a point in letting you know that they're not vegan, okay? Now, we can't convince farmers to stop forcing animals to be pregnant. We can't convince farmers to stop taking babies away from mothers. We can't convince farmers to stop exploiting animals in gas chambers. How the hell are we going to convince farmers to consider mice, to consider birds, to consider snakes, to consider insects? Farmers at the moment think that it's absolutely acceptable to do all of the above to animals. Now, there is ways to avoid this. We do have veganic farming systems like vertical farming, which we can switch to, and I think that we're morally obliged to switch to. Now, with that all being said, the majority of crops grown are to feed the 90 billion land animals alone who are sent to places that I'm stood outside the front of right now, which is a slaughterhouse. So if crop deaths is something that really is on your agenda that you want to stop, you not only have the 90 billion land animals that you tend to slaughter on your or blood on your hands, you also have all the crops that are grown to feed them. So simply, if you steel-man your argument, it pushes you to being vegan to cause the least amount of harm, and then we'd have veganic farmers who would then farm crops with zero harm.
Yeah.
Right, that said.
We got all edits just keeps putting this same thing. He puts, what's wrong with halal?
Halal slaughter is taking an individual and slashing their throat open, taking their life away from them for an optional product that is not needed. And when there is no necessity, there is no justification. I don't care if you say a prayer. I don't care if you give them belly rubs. I don't care if you play them music. I don't care if you massage them to death. You're taking the life of an individual who does not want to die. You're commodifying them. You're giving them a number, not a name. You're controlling their whole life. Everything for that animal is done to maximize profit, not considering them as an individual. I don't think that any religion is an excuse to exploit animals. And I think that anyone using religion to exploit animals is weak.
Yeah.
It's a really weak position. It's actually, in my opinion, blasphemy in itself. Imagine a religion based around kindness and compassion. And by the way, whatever religion you want to look into, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Hindu, whether it's Sikh, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Buddhism, any religion has parts in there where saying you should consider animals. In the Quran, it says those that harm an animal larger than a sparrow will be unjust. Anyone...
Refrigeration truck coming out.
Christianity, when the man was beating the donkey, he was literally like scorned for beating a donkey.
Mind your back.
All religion has got traits of caring for animals in it. So why don't these religious people lean into them passages or lean into that? Why do you continue to try and use religion to justify exploiting animals? How can something based off of kindness and compassion lead to such violence? 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, if you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Can you imagine saying to a lamb, like, oh, by the way, my God is so kind, he said I can kill you. And the lamb being like, what the hell, you're literally the devil,
This
you're
is
a
the
monster.
point, right? If your religion created slaughterhouses, if your religion, if the good in your religion created a system that killed the most vulnerable and innocent beings, what the hell does the evil in your religion do?
Yeah.
For example, if Jesus created slaughterhouses, what the hell does the devil do?
Yeah.
If the good in the story do this to animals who can't defend themselves, who are vulnerable, who are childlike, who are literally at the mercy of humans, if the good in that story does this to them, what does the evil do?
Yeah, and then who the hell do you think you are following someone so demonic?
And at the end of the day, look, it's just a storybook.
Yeah.
It's just a storybook. And in the storybook, you know, what if I started saying that Harry Potter was the gospel and I believe that Dumbledore is the Messiah and we should follow Dumbledore? You'd all think that I'm absolutely crazy. Then what if I started executing people and said, listen, Dumbledore, verse 1, chapter 6, he said, doesn't matter, I had a dream and this big carpet came down with a load of humans dead on it. Therefore, God was telling me that it's okay to go and execute people to control population numbers. If I then went around and started shooting people and said, Prophet Hagrid said so, or whatever his name is, you'd think I was crazy.
Yeah.
What about the victim? Look at it from their position. Now, no religion mandates that you must do this. There's no religion out there that says you have to exploit animals and kill animals. So why don't you follow that? If your religion doesn't mandate you to do it, if I could be Muslim, if I could be Sikh, if I could be Christian and be vegan, then why not? Why be violent to animals when you don't have to?
Yeah.
Why be a violent person? Just because you pretend to be ignorant about it doesn't mean that you don't understand it. It's in the back of your mind somewhere. You know when you put someone's flesh in your mouth, someone screamed for their life inside of a slaughterhouse. You know that when you drink milk from another mammal, from another mum, that breast milk was never intended for you. It's intended for her baby. Start thinking, where's the baby?
Yeah,
if I've got her breast milk, where the fuck is the baby?
But why don't people know this? Because we used to do the same.
They don't know it because the industry is deceptive by design. They don't want you to know it. Because the minute that the consumer and the public know this, guess what happens? Number 2s become number 1s. Talking of that, put a number 1 in the chat if you're already vegan. Put a number 2 in the chat if you're a kind person who has an open mind, an open heart, and you're wondering why vegans are live streaming outside of a slaughterhouse. Put a 3 in the chat if you're an anti-vegan crybaby troll who doesn't think that animals should be morally considered, who has a superiority complex, and just overall is not a nice person. Please make sure you've double tapped the stream, like it, share it, subscribe, hit the bell notification so when we go live at locations like the one we're still outside of right now, you can come and see the truth.
Yeah, Vegan Christianity, thank you so much for your kind super thanks.
Thank you.
Your sweet emoji, that's really kind of you.
Thank you very much. Any donations
and then,
go...
And thank you again for your kind super thanks, and put, you cannot be cruel and be Christian.
I love that. I love
That is a really good saying.
Absolutely. How can you preach peace whilst there's violence literally on your body and your plate, wherever you are? Doesn't make sense. I tell you what though, being religious, someone of faith and vegan makes sense to me. If I'm following a religion that's based off of benevolence, kindness and compassion and love, and then I extend that to every sentient being who's having a subjective experience in this world, now that makes sense. Now I think, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is about being kind and compassionate. So now this makes sense. Absolutely. 1 in the chat if you've already done that and you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Yeah, in fact, anyone who is of faith, go and watch Christspiracy. Christspiracy will show you some real truths that were covered up actually by people who had invested interest in these industries to keep it secret from you. In fact, Jesus was actually vegan, okay? So you have a look for yourself, that's Christspiracy. Someone else on here was saying that I'm a number 3 because I don't like it when people show pig slaughter, cows screaming on the streets. Well, the reason that happens is because these industries hide it from you. So all we're trying to do is bring out what actually happens, because how come then you don't get cross when they sell pizza with cow's cheese or pepperoni pig flesh? If they're selling that, we should be able to show you the truth behind that. But the fact that you don't want to see it shows that you're guilt. What the hell are you shouting at? Shame on you, people.
They're shouting at the animals in there.
Shame on you. Disgusting individuals. How could you work here? Constantly shouting. All I'm hearing is shouting, 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 and cries from those cows.
Vegan Christianity, thank you so much again for even more super thanks. Your comment here is stop paying for evil to happen to God's precious creatures. Slaughterhouses are demonic. I agree, slaughterhouses are demonic.
That's someone who has seen what happens, who doesn't try and justify it with a religion. In fact,
defends them with a religion.
Yeah,
which is consistent.
That's exactly it. If you told me Jesus is a kind, compassionate person and he would shut down slaughterhouses like he did in the temple, then I'd be like, he sounds awesome. In fact, when I watched Christspiracy, I was like, Jesus sounds like an awesome person for what he did with the liberation of those animals. In fact, he was killed because 3 days after he liberated those animals. Yeah. That's not a coincidence, by the way. Please put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and please subscribe. The reason we get so furious and passionate is because animals are being slaughtered and killed behind me, and then people use things like religion as a crowbar to justify it, to try and wipe the blood off their hands, and that's what's so frustrating. In fact, this has nothing to do with religion. Think for yourself, think with your own heart, because when a good person sees the reality of what the animals face, they could never find an excuse to justify that. When I first saw inside a slaughterhouse, I had no other questions other than I'm not paying for that. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live. Please subscribe, like and comment.
Anyone joining, where are we today? What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm here at a slaughterhouse today. Thank you so much, guys, for being in this live stream right now. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid, who have done investigations all around the UK. Have a look on their site in the link in the description. Go to the 3 dots in this live in the corner. See for yourself what happens inside these places. All I've heard today is shouting, screaming, crying. I see animal farmers like hitting the animals with stuff here before. It's always the smallholding farmers that are the worst though. They're the ones who mock the animals. They're the ones who make fun of the animals. They're the ones who I've seen with my own eyes hitting animals as they go into these places of evil, okay?
Vegan Christianity again, thank you so much. I just want you to know that all the donations will go directly to helping the animals and us advocating for them. We honestly, thank you so much. Vegan Christianity's comment is, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive God's mercy. There is no mercy for the merciless.
Yeah,
Love
oh my
that.
gosh, what a sentence. There is no mercy for the merciless.
Doesn't it start to sound like it aligns so much with being vegan?
Yeah, from someone with compassion and kindness, that's what you'd expect, right?
What a statement.
If you are merciless, then you should face that consequence. But if you are someone who gives someone else mercy, then yeah, you'll be rewarded. Like, just be kind, guys. That's all we're trying to do. Just be kind. We're just trying to defend the animals. We're not here to try and hate on you and what you believe in, but please don't use your religion or anything to justify the violence towards somebody else.
Eamon Huckinley, apologies if I've said that wrong. Put number 2, I'm not vegan, but I agree. Eamon, what's stopping you from being vegan?
Yeah, what's stopping you from going vegan? Thank you so much for your comment and your honesty as well. I probably would have been someone who would have been saying the same. Everything changed for me when I saw the animals. When we watched Joey Carbstrong and he explained the dairy industry, I didn't know that cows need to be forcibly pregnated to produce a baby, then they have a baby taken away and killed. I didn't know all this, but when I saw her inside that slaughterhouse, that's when everything changed. Please go watch Dominion for yourself on YouTube and see the reality.
Esoteric, again, apologies, I probably said that wrong. Number 2, I'm just not vegan, but I probably should go vegan.
Yeah, thank you again for your honesty. Guys, my biggest thing to you is that if you're on here and you do have compassion and you are like, oh, maybe they are right, please don't send any animals to slaughter until you educate yourself further, because you'll regret doing that once you know. I'll give you a challenge. Don't pay for any more animal products until you watch a documentary called Dominion on YouTube. That's Dominion on YouTube. Once you see that, you will then fully understand the industry, and that's what will do it. Please also message us on Instagram at Ismail and Steve if you have any questions or need support. We will help you.
This is a genuine question. Ethan Darkness, thank you. Ethan Darkness put it there, number 2. What about animals that we are killing due to overpopulation and ecological problems? Would that meat be okay to eat, or would we waste the sacrifice of an animal?
No, okay, so thank you so much for your question. So a lot of people will blame overpopulation for hunting and killing animals. It's just an excuse. What they should do instead is drop contraceptive in foods and things like that, so the animals don't breed as much. But the species that is overpopulating the most is humans. It wouldn't be justified to just kill all the humans because they're overpopulating. A lot of people just use this as an excuse to just hunt because they enjoy it. It's not for ecosystems or anything like that. In fact, the worst thing for the environment, ecosystems, ocean dead zones is animal agriculture. So if you go vegan, these will be eliminated.
Azure thinks that this is pre-recorded. Azure, this is not pre-recorded.
No,
we're here live right now.
This is not pre-recorded. It is 12 on Thursday, the 16th of July. We are here live. That's why we live stream. So many people try and come up with all these different excuses. Oh, propaganda. Oh, this is a lie. How can you say this is a lie when we're literally live streaming at a slaughterhouse right now as we speak? We've listened to the cows crying for their life today. Every single time we hear, that's all we hear. We hear the workers shouting. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe.
All edits and quite a few others are saying, why kill plants?
Because they don't have a brain or central nervous system and they can't feel pain, and we need plants, and otherwise we'll have civilization collapse.
Yeah,
Literally,
exactly.
There'll be no life without plants. We need plants to survive, but we don't need to be having slaughterhouses, horse racing industries, greyhound racing, animal experiments to survive.
Where are we today? Who are we here with? If people want to see more, where can they go? And if people want to go vegan, what can they do?
Yeah, so thank you. So we're here today at a slaughterhouse, trying to defend the animals, just trying to tell you guys what actually happens, because you have been lied to. The industries have lied to you, and it's not your fault that you do not know, but it is your fault when you move forward and continue paying for an injustice that you do then know about, because then you're connected. For anyone who's thinking about this, please go watch Dominion on YouTube to see the reality. The animals deserve you to see what they go through, and you deserve to know the truth. We are not here spreading propaganda, misinformation. We're only talking facts and things that we have seen personally with our own eyes. Go to the link in the description, because we're here in collaboration with Animal Aid as well today, and they've done investigations on all these different slaughterhouses around the world, so go see for yourself what happens. The animals need you so much. This is such an urgent issue. It's literally life and death for them, and you hold the cards. You are the one that holds their life in your hands, so feel that pressure on your shoulders. Please go vegan. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please
Ethan
subscribe.
Darkness, the comment with the overpopulation, has put number 2. Thanks for that answer, very enlightening to be honest. The ecological balance is very important as well, considering other sources of food and protein.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason we have ocean dead zones, deforestation, and also like when...
Habitat destruction.
Sorry?
habitat destruction.
Is animal agriculture is the leading cause. So the majority of soy that is grown in the rainforest is fed to animals, 96% of it, because there's 90 billion animals forcibly bred into existence every year for people to send to slaughterhouses and consume. There's only 9 billion humans on the planet, so if we got rid of the animals and weren't killing them, we'd free up 75% of the world's farmland. Ocean dead zones wouldn't be happening because of the pollution and things from these places. Have you seen Chris Packham often talks about the rivers in the UK being absolutely infected from the chicken farms that they just feed their slurry into the water. In fact, when Joey did the investigation on Heart's Head's meats recently, they had a spillage of blood that they just hosed into the streams. So thank you for your question. I'm just going to switch over with Steve again.
Well done. All in, it's disappointing to see that your comments have just descended into ridiculousness. I actually thought we were having quite a good conversation with you. We've answered some points quite well. Seemed like you were open-minded. But I guess in some people, the indoctrination is just too deep. The conditioning is just too deep. And you just can't critically think about it openly enough. When you're here listening to what we're saying, this is why we make the point that we're not here to clash with you. We're here to just tell you what we know so we can expand our education to you. You have to have an opinion where you accept that what you know right now could be wrong. And you may not know all the answers. You have to accept the fact that the industry have lied to you, and we're here to just simply tell you the truth. You're looking right now inside of a UK slaughterhouse. Look at the floor. You see them grates on the floor? This is designed so that even if the animals do evade the person with the knife, they do escape the knockbox, if they try to run and get out, they're going to fall down there, break their legs, and be executed at that very point. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to the conversation. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream. Let's get over 300 likes in this live stream.
Someone just said, how has he got so big on a plant-based diet? I've missed the person.
Your body needs nutrients, okay? It doesn't, you can choose the ingredients. So why would I choose ingredients that have screamed for their life inside of a slaughterhouse when I could just buy tofu, seitan, the vegan option, the vegan burger? Go and look at the bodybuilding squad, John the Bodybuilding Vegan on Instagram. Go and look at them. You can sign up on John the Bodybuilding Vegan's Instagram site. You can message him and sign up for free nutrition advice, free recipe books to be how you can be a bodybuilding vegan or a triathlete, a marathon runner, whatever you want to be. Just remember your body needs nutrients and you can select the ingredients.
Harsh Dapper 2243, but I'm vegetarian.
Okay, most people who are vegetarian, first of all, thank you for your comment. Most people who are vegetarian, I'm not saying all, but most people who are vegetarian for ethical reasons. Now, vegetarianism, pescatarianism, all of these other sort of lesser evils have been put there, in our opinion, from the meat, dairy and egg industry. Remember, they're a business. They market to the consumer for optimal profit margins. When you run a business, you have your A stock, your B stock and your C stock. If the consumer doesn't buy from your A stock, you do everything you can to make them buy from your B stock and your C stock. So vegetarians have been sold this lie that eggs don't harm chickens, dairy doesn't harm cows. And it is a lie. The dairy industry is a standalone industry. Dairy cows are executed specifically for her breast milk. Eggs, the chickens are specifically selectively bred to lay them eggs, and they get sent to gas chambers when they're too old. At 18 months old, their egg production slows down. So vegetarians who have gone there for an ethical position, you're there because the industry have told you that if you're not going to pay for the actual body parts, at least pay for the secretions. Nothing bad happens there. And then it'll be, at least pay for fish. Fish don't feel pain. Fish don't matter until you actually realise that if I stop and think about it, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. There's no such thing as humane slaughter. There's no way to humanely exploit an individual, and you simply go vegan.
So I think you just said something that someone is confused about. They said that you said vegetarian is a lesser evil. I think what you meant to say is that the person who goes vegetarian thinks that it's a lesser evil.
That's what I meant, yeah.
What's the difference between vegetarian?
No. Like, let me just clarify. They are all evil. Yeah. But the industry has told the person, the industry has told the consumer that if you don't want to hurt animals, then be vegetarian because you're not hurting animals. It's less. But actually it's not. And then go pescatarian, because then you're not hurting any animal, but you are. It's all evil. Yeah. But what I'm saying is there's layers of it. catchments from the industry to keep the profit margins coming in. This isn't an industry that is necessary for preventing civilization collapse. This is a business, and they're marketing to the consumer in the best way to maximize profits. And when people start to wake up and not want to hurt animals, they've got layers to catch you, to make you keep paying for it without ever really thinking about you've done anything wrong. If you're ethically vegetarian, then you should be vegan because you just don't know about the dairy and the eggs and the leather and the wool and the animal testing and the zoos and the racetracks and the entertainment industries. So please go and watch Dominion on YouTube. Please go and watch Pignorant on Amazon Prime. Please click in the description and go to Animal Aid's link and look at their investigations.
So there was comments saying, so is vegetarian better then?
No, vegetarian is the same support. Vegetarian is the same troll. Vegetarian is the same as a non-vegan, but the industry has marketed it different, but it's the same. If you're vegetarian, you pay for animals to be exploited, executed and killed. It is the same.
Yeah, vegan Christianity, thank you again for your kind super thanks.
Thank you.
They put God is also within these animals. Every time you hurt an animal, you hurt God. God is also watching us through these animals' eyes. Be kind, not cruel.
Absolutely. It's as simple as that. Be kind, not cruel. Be good, not bad. Don't cause harm.
Yeah.
You don't have to. This isn't justified. It's not a necessity. It doesn't need to happen. So therefore, it shouldn't happen. Animals should have basic rights, literally the right to their bodily autonomy and the right to their life, the right to stay with their babies, the right to not have pregnancies forced on them, the right to literally be able to live their life free of harm. We're not saying that animals need the right to vote. We're saying that by bare minimum, they should be the right to not be exploited, commodified and executed. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream.
So,
please subscribe.
People are coming in saying, what's happening here? What are you doing?
Cool. We're here today live streaming outside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. We're outside of ABP where they execute cows for dairy and for meat. We're here today to come alongside the consumer, show you the reality of these industries that exploit animals and urge you to go vegan, to take your personal accountability of exploiting animals away. We're here today not to clash. We're here today to come alongside and converse. We need these conversations so people can understand the issues as to why we're here. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go into the description, click on the top link and go and look at the investigations done in the UK at various slaughterhouses done by Animal Aid. Go and see the reality for yourself. The industry do all they can to keep the truth from the consumers, and we will do all we can to bring the truth to you. Because when you're a good person with compassion in your heart and you see the reality and the truth, then you simply go vegan because you no longer want to be personally responsible for exploiting and killing animals.
Yeah.
Like we just said, vegan is the baseline, nothing less, nothing less. 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you've already done that. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, if you're a client person and you're wondering why we're here today, live streaming outside of a slaughterhouse. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please make sure that you've liked, shared and subscribed with the bell notification.
Truck's coming
Here
out.
comes another death truck in my opinion.
Look, there's inside the lairage.
Disgusting. What are you doing? Don't beep your horn. What are you doing? Scumbag.
What the hell?
Absolute scumbag. Should be in prison in my opinion.
All right, guys, I'm going to show you the lairage now that it's empty. We can see
What
inside.
an arsehole, beeping his horn. That would have
Scumbag.
scared all the animals inside there. That just
Scumbag.
shows you. Are any of you not going to do your job and tell these fucking idiots to stop beeping their horns around here? Everything's being recorded, and by the way, everything gets reported. Everything. We've got a whole catalogue of things that happen here. We're here every week. You know we're here every week. We record everything, date, time, number plates, people, everything is recorded. Everything will be submitted to the representative authorities. Everything. We will not give this industry a millimetre. We will document and report absolutely everything. I promise you, you will not be able to fart inside this building without us knowing about it. And everything that is broken, everything that is done in here that shouldn't be done will be reported to the correct authorities. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Phoebe, thank you so much for your kind super thanks.
Thank
they
you.
put, if you feel threatened by this, question why. Complacency is convenient, but is wrong. Like with slavery, which side of history are you going to be on?
100%.
Absolutely, well said.
100%. Remember, the message here, it may feel confronting, it may feel uncomfortable to see and hear this message, but it's because it's just a message of truth, and it isn't comfortable. It's horrific. When you see and hear what happens to animals for optional products and profit margins, it's very confrontational. It's very harrowing. It's a huge injustice. It doesn't sit comfortably. And then when you actually look in the mirror and realize that you're responsible for it, it feels really uncomfortable. But when that uncomfortable feeling hits, you have an option. Do you continue to do it, or do you actually take accountability and stop and go vegan?
David, Recovery's journey. Thank you so much for your kind super thanks. They put thank you for your hard work.
Thank you so much for your support. The support goes a long way. It means a lot. It means that we can do more and more and more for the animals. It will all go directly to defending and helping animals. We will make sure that these places are shut down. We will make sure that places like this go into the history books. We will make sure that these places become museums one day. They'll do school trips to these places one day, and the children will be asking, what the hell do they do to animals? They put animals inside here and stabbed them in the throat. They put animals inside here and shot them in the face. They put animals inside gas chambers. And then they'll ask, did people just stand on the gate and let this happen? Did people actually drive the animals in here? Were there actually people that side of the gate who were willing to drop their morals and ethics for profit margins and money? People that side, did they actually do this to animals? And history will go down, and your name will go down in history if you're that side of these gates. If you're an animal farmer, if you work in a slaughterhouse, and I don't care if you work in PR, if you work in accounting, I don't give a shit if you fucking hoover the office. If you're inside these places and you're working, your name will go down in history for being on the wrong side of it. You're on the wrong side of it. Remove yourself. If no one turns up to here to do the accounts, it doesn't work. If no one turns up here to run these gates and security, it doesn't work. If the persons don't turn up to stab the animals to death, it doesn't work. This is an evil, evil industry, and it needs to be stopped. It needs to end now.
Yeah, well said. David, Recovery Journey, thank you again for your kind super thanks.
Thank you,
and
David.
put for the animals with a load of green hearts.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
David.
That's why we do this. That's why we're here, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Steve, I'm just showing people the lairage. What's in the lairage?
That lairage there, what
lairage?
you're looking at right now is a holding area. Bear in mind, again, anyone joining, we are live in the UK. This is ABP. That holding area is effectively a huge waiting room for the animals. They're there, held in this big lairage, this big barn. When the time comes, they'll be marched forward, they'll be walked forward onto the kill floor. They'll go down into a single file line. They'll be nose to tail. They'll then be forced forward. If they don't move, I've seen videos where they twist tails, they poke them, they whack them on the backs, because as they get closer to that kill line, these animals are intelligent, they know what's happening. They try and evade death in the same way that any of you would. Once they walk forwards, they go into a knock box. A knock box is basically a big metal square where they're forced in, and a metal sheet comes down behind them, so they're trapped. They can no longer turn around, move forward, backwards, or evade anything. They're shot in the head, they drop to the floor, they get shackled up on one leg, and they have a knife slashed across their throat. 20% of dairy cows will come in here pregnant, their babies will be cut from them, and they'll just be left to die. It's an absolute injustice, and we'll swap back over with Mel now. Please go vegan for them.
It's the worst thing. By the way, everyone who's in this live chat, thank you for being in this live chat. I just want to tell you as well, we're not here telling you cruelty cases, we're telling you standard practice industries. I haven't even told you about what I've seen on pig farms. Is there a question?
Vegan Christianity, kind super thanks again. We can either help create heaven on earth or hell on earth.
Yeah.
We can choose to be kind or evil. It's a choice. What are you creating on this planet?
That
wow.
is so true. Don't
Brilliant.
let your life be the reason someone else's life is hell. Absolutely. Thank you so much. What a powerful statement. Like, I couldn't live with myself knowing that I'd made someone else's life hell, and I've been the reason that they've been killed. In fact, I hate that. For 26 years I paid for this evil, evil industry. Guys, please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe. On pig farms, I entered a pig farm in the middle of the night, me, Steve and a few others and a non-vegan. We went undercover. We went into this place And we opened the door and we saw rats running out everywhere. We were like, whoa, there's rats everywhere. There was massive cobwebs everywhere. It looked like a dungeon. Like, it looked like, you know, like the worst murderer that you could ever think of, like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy kind of thing. If they created somewhere, you would think this is in their basement. Evil, eerie lights. We walked along these cages. There was about 4 rows of farrowing crates, which is a cage the size of a mother pig to give birth in. She cannot move, she cannot turn around. She's on concrete for 4 to 6 weeks of her life on concrete, okay? What I saw on the floor was a baby that had been eaten alive by rats. Her mother, right behind her, couldn't reach her, was trying to snuggle her because she had blood all over her face, trying to snuggle her baby because she couldn't save her baby, literally being eaten alive, guys. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan, double tap the live stream and subscribe. I saw the clippers on the side of the room. They have clippers to grind their teeth down. When they give birth to their babies, they pick their babies up and cut their tails off. I saw the babies had their umbilical cords still attached, but their tails had already been cut off. They'd already had their bodies mutilated. They'd pick up the males and they'd rip their genitals out of them, just with their hands, ripped out, no anesthetic or anything. This is standard practice. And if one of the babies don't grow fast enough in 6 months' time when they're going to be sent to a gas chamber, they pick the babies up by their back legs, they pull the babies and they smash their head on the floor. That's standard farming and pig farming. Then if they get to 6 months old, they get sentenced to a gas chamber where they burn from the inside out here in the UK. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now today, experiencing real life trials right now in some of these drivers.
Mark put 2, vegan message, but unknown tattooing, that deserves scrutiny. Is our tattoos vegan?
Yeah, all our tattoos are vegan. We have a friend who's actually an animal rights activist who owns a tattoo studio. Don't you worry about us. We make sure everything we do is vegan. We make sure that our shoes are vegan, our clothes are vegan. Now you got to look at you and yourself. Hold yourself accountable, okay? Even if I was stood here wearing animal products, which would be so wrong, it still doesn't make my message wrong. What happens to the animals is happening. You hold yourself accountable for your own actions. Is there another question there or not?
It went.
No worries. Yeah, so also in this pig farm, what we saw is boxes and boxes of antibiotics. The majority of antibiotics are fed to animals, okay? They talk about there's going to be this antibiotic resistance coming soon for humans, and it's true because you're consuming animals. You're eating antibiotics, wee, poo, pus, wee every single day if you're eating animals. Did you know that in milk you can have up to 400 million milliliters of blood and pus cells? How disgusting. So not only is it disgusting, it's the most biggest moral atrocity happening to the animals, and it's happening on your behalf if you're not vegan. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe.
Mad7, but what are your shoes then?
They're from Skechers, so they're not leather. I think they're made from like rubber. They actually have vegan labels on them as well. It's really easy. Nothing changes for you when you go vegan. Everything changes for the animals. I can still wear shoes that look similar to what I used to wear. My hair dye is all vegan. My clothing is all vegan. My makeup's not tested on animals, it's all vegan. But if there was no alternative, I just wouldn't wear makeup. I wouldn't have my hair coloured. I wouldn't do those things because I can never make my gains or live in my life on the loss of someone else losing their life. Who am I? I'm as equal as those animals are. They're as equal to us as you are. To everyone living their own life, their life is just as important to you as their life is to them. Give them the rights, basic rights to their own life. That's literally it. In fact, how horrible is it that our species is so corrupt, so dangerous, that we have to give rights to people and to animals to stop humans hurting them? That's sad. What a letdown of a species we are. Why can't our species just be ingrained with kindness from the start like children are before they're indoctrinated? Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe.
Benita Bommy said, so are you equal as a cow? Okay, got it.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you don't give them respect, then you're not even close. You're way below. Like, the fact that you're like, oh, you think that I'm not equal to a cow or somebody else is disgusting mindset. It's a
superiority, yeah.
Like people used to say, it's a form of racism. It's speciesism. Your mindset is that of a racist. okay? And I'm saying that because people used to treat other people differently purely on the way they looked, and they said, you think that this person is equal to me, I'm a white person. It's disgusting mindset. You think a woman is equal to me, I'm a man. Like, yeah, of course they're equal. Animals are equal to us. Who the hell do you think you are to think that you're not equal? Like, they deserve a right to their own life just as you do, but I don't know about you if you think that.
Yeah, what makes you so special?
Yeah.
Anyone joining this live stream, where are we? Who are we in collaboration with? What's behind you? And where can people go vegan?
Yeah, so I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Behind me is a slaughterhouse. There's been about 6 trucks come in here today, witnessing the cows crying for their lives in there. In fact, I'll show you in a minute the cows on this live. We're here in collaboration today with Animal Aid. They have done investigations all over the UK on slaughterhouses, halal slaughterhouses, standard slaughterhouses, horse slaughterhouses. Did you know that in the horse racing industry, those horses that fall, break their legs or are no longer profitable get sentenced to a slaughterhouse, be stabbed, and horses are shot in the head. Sorry, it stinks in this place. Horses are shot in the head because they can no longer meet the time, they're no longer making money. And people say that horse riders love their horses. This is like a stereotype that they try and get people who have compassion to get into the industry to just make money. It's all business. Where there's money, there's corruption. Okay, that's what it is. This is literally violence. This is murder, and people are just walking around it, doing nothing. People live behind this place. They smell this. When we get out of the car, wherever we park, we can smell this place. We can hear those cries. And then people next door are buying a car or are going to Quick Fit and fixing their car over there. And there's literal murder happening there. It's insanity. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe.
I Stay Drunk, thanks for your comment. They put, do you think the world could all go vegan and it not ruin the world?
Absolutely. The world right now is being ruined because people are not vegan. That's literally like, if you care about the world and the environment and things like that, if you're not vegan, you're the one destroying it, okay? When people go vegan, you will free up 75% of the world's farmland. There'll no longer be ocean dead zones. There'll no longer be deforestation. There'll no longer be violence towards animals. But even if giving animals rights was worse for the environment, I don't care. I do not care, because if children were being trafficked and it was better for the environment to traffic the children, I would say it's still wrong to do that, because there's an individual having their rights violated. There's an individual being commodified and used against their will. It is absolutely horrific. There is no justification, there's no necessity, so therefore there's a lack of justification. Everybody can be vegan. If there's places in the world where they cannot get certain foods or whatever, then we transport those foods to them. We have a duty to do that. But right now, in poorer countries, they're having their crops grown, then shipped to the richer countries to feed to animals, then kill the animals to feed to you guys. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm not here to hate on you. I'm here purely to defend the animals. That's it.
Vegan Christianity, thank you so much again for even more super thanks. Vegan Christianity's comment says, narcissistic egos, ignorance and hatred is ruining this planet.
Thank you.
And all its inhabitants' lives.
Oh, you're vegan
too. Have a look at your mentality and beliefs. Face yourself. Let me say that again, because I think you spoke over the thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Narcissistic egos, ignorance and hatred is ruining this planet and all its inhabitants' lives. Have a look at your mentality and beliefs and face yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well said. You're on fire. You're on fire today. Sorry for interrupting. There was a car that just stopped and they were waving and beeping and they were saying, thank you so much. We're vegan as well. These sweet ladies who just stopped and was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. They stopped the traffic to say thank you. So there's always light in the darkness. There's always good amongst the evil. Don't be the one who's evil. Be the one who is good. Be the one who is defending the most innocent childlike beings on the planet. Defend them from yourself. Because if you're not vegan, I'm trying to defend them from you right now. But the reality is that the industry lie to you, so you don't even realize what you paid for. You're drinking cow's milk when you're a human. That's brainwashing. You're paying for eggs, someone else's period that came out of their bum. You're eating that thinking that's food, but it's not. It's their eggs. In fact, if anyone rescues chickens have been chickens and meat chickens are two different breeds of chickens. One's been genetically modified to grow really large. In a short space of time, at 42 days old, they get sentenced to a gas chamber. The egg-laying hens, they have been genetically modified to lay 300 eggs a year. Naturally, they would only lay 12. Naturally, they'd only lay 12. That's 300 eggs a year, so their body is so depleted of nutrients, they need their eggs back. So if you have rescue chickens, make sure you smash their eggs on the floor for them so they can eat their eggs back, so they're not lacking those nutrients that they desperately need. In the egg industry, all the hens come from somewhere called a hatchery, so they're forced into existence from parent breeder sheds, which is horrific. Go to Joey Carvstrong and see what parent breeder sheds are. When they have the fertilized eggs, they all go to a hatchery. They then sex them between male and female. Let me continue this in a second. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and please put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live and please subscribe. Yes, so they sex them between male and female. The males do not produce eggs, so they're classed as a waste products. It's a waste for them to feed them, grow them. They won't make any money from them. So what they do, they put them on a conveyor belt that leads straight into an open blender alive, a macerator, or they put them in a gas chamber or put them in a bag and they suffocate to death. Day one little male chicks, cute little yellow male chicks, that's what happens in the egg industry. Wherever you buy eggs, they all come from a hatchery first, okay? Then the females, they often get their beaks burnt off on this thing, then they get sentenced to barns, free range, whatever, it's all exactly the same. There's either caged hens, free range is exactly the same, and it's just one's got a cage and one hasn't. But the barns, you can have up to 30,000 chickens in one barn where they're crammed. They have no room to move. It's complete mayhem. It's like a prison for those poor chickens. Please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, ask questions. We're answering questions today as well. We have amazing activists in the chat as well, so thank you so much for being here. Please ask questions. When those chickens get to around 18 months old, the egg production slows down. The farmer then goes, oh, I can't really make much money off them now, so he sends them to a gas chamber. The majority of egg-laying hens go to a gas chamber to be killed. They suffocate to death. Again, Joey Carvstrong has exposed these gas chambers. Go and have a look at his site. In fact, go and subscribe to Joey Carvstrong. It's horrific, okay? Also, we're here today in collaboration with Animal Way. Go look in the description. Go and see the investigations that they have done inside these different slaughterhouses all around the UK. See what happens for yourself. Until you know, you'll never know. Until you see with your eyes, you can't make it up.
Should we show everyone what's on the thing from earlier? Let's go over here. We're getting the
we're just going to show you who was in these trucks today. Steve did an amazing job capturing the deer animals. Hold on, it's just doing something weird. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, guys.
Okay, leave it where it is there. There you go. Go down a bit.
Poor animals. That's who's gone inside this evil place today to be killed. These dairy cows have been stabbed in the throat as we speak because you're not vegan. The baseline to be is vegan. They need you to be vegan desperately. The consequence of your actions not being vegan is that they are the commodity, they are the victim on your behalf. Don't be the reason for this. Please go and watch Dominion on YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone who's been on this live stream, supporting, donating, asking questions and standing here with us. Please watch Dominion on YouTube, defend animals and live vegan as a matter of urgency.